Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to think back for a moment. Think about the hardest day of your life, the day you didn't know how you were going to get through, the moment that felt like the end when you were broken, beaten, and ready to give up. And yet, here you are, you made it. You've survived every single storm life has thrown at you. Every betrayal, every heartbreak, every failure, every moment you thought would destroy you, you survived it. That means something. That means there's a power inside of you that's bigger than any problem, stronger than any pain, and more persistent than any pressure. I'm here to tell you today, if you've survived 100% of your bad days, you will survive this too. There's something powerful about looking back at everything you've been through and realizing you're still standing. It's easy to forget that every breath you take today is the evidence of victories you didn't think you could win. When life hit you hard, and it did, didn't it? When you were left questioning everything, wondering how you'd pull through, how you'd wake up the next day, how you'd carry the weight of your world on shoulders that already felt broken, you did it anyway. You kept moving, you pushed through, and maybe you didn't sprint. Maybe you didn't leap forward, but you inched ahead, and that matters. Because sometimes survival doesn't look like winning, it just looks like refusing to quit. People forget how far they've come. We live in a world that pushes us to always look ahead, to chase the next goal, the next success, the next chapter, but there is strength in reflection. You didn't just get here by luck, you got here because you refused to let the worst days define you. You got here because somewhere deep down, even when everything seemed hopeless, there was still a flicker of belief that this pain would not last forever. That flicker was enough to carry you through the darkness. There were days you cried in silence, days you walked around with a smile while your heart was in pieces, nights where you couldn't sleep when the weight of your worries suffocated your thoughts. But here's the truth, you got through them all. That means you have a track record of surviving 100% of your hardest moments. Think about that. Every scar on your soul is a reminder not of your weakness, but of your endurance, of your resilience, of the battles you didn't think you'd make it through, but you did. We often underestimate what we've already overcome. You've endured the pressure of loss, disappointment, failure, betrayal. You've experienced loneliness, fear, and uncertainty, and every time life whispered that it might be the end. But look at you now, still breathing, still standing, still fighting. That's no small thing. That's a miracle in motion. That's power walking with purpose. You are stronger than you realize, and your past is the proof. See, the mind likes to trick us. It tells us this time it's different, this time it's too much, this time you won't make it. But your own history tells a different story. Your past says, I've been through worse. I've survived more painful days. I've picked myself up from deeper holes. So why should today be any different? Why should this current battle be the one that breaks you when all the others built you? You have to remember that growth often happens in the grind, in the chaos. In the breaking, the truth is, pain teaches you things comfort never could. It teaches you what you're made of. It reveals your limits and then shows you that you can go beyond them. Pain builds perspective, grit, empathy. The strength you carry today wasn't forged in calm, it was born in the fire. And that fire didn't consume you. It refined you. We don't give ourselves enough credit for what we've endured. Maybe it's because society only celebrates the big wins, the promotions, the trophies, the milestones. But the real victories, the quiet ones, the private ones, the ones no one saw but you, getting out of bed when you wanted to disappear, choosing to smile when all you felt was despair, walking away from what hurt you even though you still loved it. These are the moments where strength is formed. These are the bricks you've laid in the foundation of your character. Your strength is not something you just have. It's something you've earned. It's the result of pain you turned into purpose. Of nights you cried yourself to sleep and still woke up to fight another day. Of conversations you had with yourself when no one else believed in you. You didn't get lucky, you got asterisk through asterisk, and getting through takes courage. It takes guts. It takes a heart that refuses to surrender. So when your mind tries to convince you that you're not strong enough, reminded of everything you've been through, when the fear creeps in and says you can't handle this, bring your memory into the room and let it speak. Let it list every challenge you've overcome, every obstacle you've conquered, every day you thought would break you, but didn't. Let your memory remind you that you have been through hell before, and every time you came out carrying wisdom, strength, and a deeper understanding of who you really are. You don't need someone else to validate your resilience. You've already proven it. Life has tested you again and again, and each time you've come back wiser, stronger, and more equipped for the journey ahead. That's not just strength, that's transformation. That's evolution in motion. That's resilience being lived out in real time. You are not the same person you were before those bad days came. You are better because of them. You are built differently now, and the proof is in your past. Every storm you've faced has done more than just pass over your life. It's shaped you, molded you, chiseled away at the surface to reveal the strength within. We often see storms as interruptions to our lives, as painful disruptions that knock us off course. But if you take a closer look, you'll realize those storms didn't break you, they built you. They didn't destroy your path, they refined your purpose. It's in the struggle that character is forged. It's through the pain that your true identity is revealed. Every hardship, every trial, every difficult season, they weren't here to defeat you. They were here to develop you. Think about the person you were before the tough times hit, before life taught you how to rise. You might have been more comfortable, more innocent, more naive, but you were also less equipped, less aware, less grounded. The storm didn't just change your surroundings, it changed you. It made you stronger in ways you couldn't have learned through comfort. It made you tougher, not because you asked to be, but because you had to be. You had no choice but to grow up, level up, and dig deep, and you did. Storms have a way of bringing clarity. When everything falls apart, when everything you relied on slips away, you're forced to see what really matters. You learn what you can live without and what you can't. You discover what's true, what's fake, who's real, and who was only around for the sunshine. Pain has a way of purifying your life. It strips away what doesn't serve you anymore and leaves you with what's essential: your courage, your faith, your resilience, your inner power. Those are the things the storm couldn't take. You see, some people walk around trying to avoid pain at all costs, thinking that's the path to peace. But the truth is, peace doesn't come from avoiding the storm, it comes from surviving it. From learning how to dance in the rain, from knowing that the wind may howl and the waves may rise, but you won't be swept away. Why? Because you've learned how to anchor yourself. You've learned how to hold on when everything is trying to pull you apart. That knowledge, that experience, that inner stability, that's something only the storm can teach you. The storm taught you how to let go of things you can't control. It taught you how to breathe through the chaos, how to stand tall when the ground beneath you shakes. It taught you how to carry yourself with dignity, even when everything around you felt undignified. It taught you that you don't need everything to go right in order to be all right, that even when the sky is dark, the sun hasn't disappeared, it's just temporarily hidden, and so is your strength sometimes. But it's never gone. It's always there, waiting to rise again. Most people don't understand the value of what they've been through because they're too focused on the pain. But you've got to zoom out. You've got to take a higher view and realize that the pain had a purpose. It made you who you are. It gave you tools you now carry into every challenge: empathy, perspective, endurance, patience. These are the fruits of hardship. These are the quiet victories. This is the invisible strength most people overlook. Every storm also showed you your capacity. You didn't know how strong you were until you had to be. You didn't know you could survive certain things not until you were forced to face them. And now you know. Now you've seen yourself in the middle of the fire, and while it burned, it didn't consume you. It refined you like gold in the furnace. You came out different, maybe scarred, maybe bruised, but undeniably stronger. So many people crumble when storms come because they never allow the storm to teach them. They fight it, resist it, curse it instead of listening to it. But not you. You chose to face it. You chose to endure. And because of that, you've grown. That growth may not always be visible. It may not always be celebrated, but it's there, rooted deep inside of you. You are not who you were before the struggle. You've been upgraded, sharpened, strengthened. The version of you that exists today wouldn't have been possible without the storm. When you look back, don't just remember the pain, remember the transformation. Remember the way you rose, the way you adapted, the way you didn't fold. Remember how, even in the middle of it all, you kept your integrity, your compassion, your hope. Those are not small things. They are everything. They are the foundation for what's next, because what you gained from the storm is more powerful than anything it tried to take away from you. You've been tested and tempered. The storm didn't just touch your life, it shaped your destiny. Sometimes the hardest thing to believe is that what you're facing right now isn't the end. When the weight of life presses down on you, when anxiety clouds your mind and fear grips your heart, it's natural to think this is how the story concludes. But this right here is not your ending. This is your turning point. This is the moment everything begins to shift. The breaking point you feel, it's not the final page, it's the chapter where things start to change. You've come too far and fought too hard to let this be the moment that defines you. Instead, this can be the moment that refines you. People often confuse difficulty with defeat. They mistake the storm for a signal that it's over. But what if the storm is a signal that something new is being born? That something inside of you is being awakened. Growth doesn't happen in the shallow end. It happens in the deep. It happens when life brings you to your knees and you have no choice but to dig down and find a new version of yourself. One who doesn't quit. One who rises stronger. One who dares to believe that even this pain can serve a purpose. You don't always get to choose what life throws at you, but you do get to choose how you respond. And right now, you have the power to choose belief. Not the kind of blind belief that ignores reality, but the kind that acknowledges how bad things feel and still whispers, "I'm not done yet." That voice inside you, that quiet whisper that refuses to give up, that is your power. That is your turning point, and every single person who has ever come out of a storm victorious has felt that moment, that deep knowing that even though it looks dark now, something better is on the other side. This challenge is stretching you. It's asking something from you that nothing else has before. It's demanding a deeper version of your strength. And as hard as it feels, as painful as it seems, you've been here before in a different form. You've faced uncertainty, you've lived through heartbreak, you've watched things fall apart and still found a way to rebuild. This challenge isn't foreign, it's familiar, and the fact that you've made it through before is the greatest evidence that you'll do it again. There's a shift that happens when you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this building in me?" That's when the transformation begins. That's when pain becomes power. That's when survival turns into strength. And it's not about pretending things are okay when they're not. It's about knowing that being broken doesn't mean being finished. You are allowed to hurt. You are allowed to feel it. But you are not allowed to give up on yourself. Every great story has a moment where the main character is pushed to their edge. The setback, the loss, the moment where all seems lost. But that's also where the story turns. That's where they find a hidden strength they didn't know they had. That's where something shifts not just around them, but within them, and you're there now, in the thick of the chapter where your story turns, where who you become is more powerful than anything you've ever been. Don't judge your future by your current feeling. Feelings are temporary, they pass, but the decisions you make right now, those can change everything. If you choose to keep going, even when it hurts, if you choose to keep believing, even when your faith feels small, if you choose to take one more step, when everything in you wants to stop, those choices add up. They create momentum, and momentum is what builds breakthroughs. Sometimes the difference between giving up and rising up is just one more step, one more hour, one more deep breath that says, "Not yet. I'm not done." You've been given this moment not to break you, but to show you who you really are. And what you are is not weak. You are not powerless. You are not your circumstances. You are the author of your comeback. And comebacks are only possible when there's something to come back from. So embrace this as part of the process, part of the rise, because just like before, you're going to come out on the other side of this. But this time you'll come out wiser, stronger, more rooted, more focused, with scars that shine, not with shame, but with glory. Scars that say, "I made it through and I grew." You've come too far, endured too much, and grown through storms that were meant to break you, but they didn't. They couldn't, because what's inside you is greater than anything life can throw at you. You are living proof that survival is possible, that strength is born in the struggle, and that pain can be a passage to power. This moment you're in right now, it's not your finish line. It's your starting point. A new chapter is waiting for you to step into it, not with fear, but with the fire of every battle you've already overcome. So stand tall, breathe deep, and take the next step, because if you've survived 100% of your worst days, you are absolutely built to rise through this one too.